Well, I just want you to know that Biafran referendum is inevitable. It must come. One of the characteristics of humans is the ability to reason and make decisions. But it is so disheartening that the band of the intelligentsia and the so-called political elites in Nigeria have deemed it indecipherable to distinguish between referendum and a call for war. The elites see referendum as war. That's the elites from the Nigerian side. Perhaps they are not schooled enough to understand what referendum is. We had to do this to school them. The error of mistaking a call for referendum to a call for war pertinently justifies Nigerian states of poor education, mischievousness, and the moral decay that oscillates within the caucus of professors of thoughts. The wide range of the quest for Biafran referendum is ineluctable. A conciliatory approach would have gone forward to palliating the thorn in the Nigerian's flesh, but these political bigots would prefer playing the dictatorial tactics in order to obliterate the anguished cries of the repressed people. These actions have fueled the agitation for Biafran restoration the more and demeaned the argument of one Nigeria. Referendum. To begin with, a referendum is a type of vote that is conducted in an attempt to ascertain public opinion towards an issue or event. It is this provision that permits the voters to either accept or reject a public policy measure at a formal election. Advanced countries understand democracy as a political system that is absolutely people-oriented to adopt, approve, enforce, and resolve issues affecting them as a people. To avert unnecessary unrest in a society, this referendum has been implored by many countries as described below. Quebec referendum 1995. The 1995 Quebec referendum was the second referendum held on June 12, 1995 to ask voters in the Canadian French-speaking province of Quebec whether Quebec should proclaim national sovereignty and become an independent country with the condition precedent of offering a political and economic agreement with Canada. The question was, do you agree that Quebec should become sovereign after having made a formal offer to Canada for a new economic and political partnership within the scope of the bill respecting the future of Quebec? A yes result of 49.42% and a no of 50.58% was achieved. The next one is the Portuguese abortion referendum 2007. An abortion referendum was conducted in Portugal on February 11, 2007 to decide whether a 10-week pregnancy can lawfully be aborted. The question in the referendum was, are you in agreement with decriminalization of voluntary interruption of pregnancy if carried out by the woman's choice in the first 10 weeks in a legally authorized health institution? Official results of the referendum showed that 59.24% of the Portuguese approved the proposal put on the ballot, while 40.76% rejected it. The next is the Scottish Independent Referendum 2014. A referendum on the Scottish independence from the United Kingdom was conducted on September 18, 2014. The referendum question which voters answered yes or no was, should Scotland be an independent country? The no side won with 55.30% voting against independence and 44.70% voting in favor yes. The next is New Zealand flag referendum 2015 and 2016. These referendums were conducted by New Zealand government respectively on November 20 to December 11, 2015 and March 3 to 24, 2016. The question for the first referendum in 2015 to determine the preferred alternative flag was, if the New Zealand flag changes, which flag would you prefer? Results show that silver fern flag, hence its adoption. So results show that the silver fern flag, hence its adoption. Then they advanced to the second referendum. In the second referendum, voters were asked to choose between the selected alternative, silver fern flag, and the existing New Zealand flag with the symbol of Union Jack. The final decision was to keep the current flag. That's the result that came out of the referendum. Now, the next one is the United Kingdom European Union referendum 2016. The United Kingdom European Union membership referendum, also known as the Brexit referendum, was conducted on June 23, 2016 to gauge support for the country either remaining a member or leaving the European Union. The referendum resulted in 51.89% of voters voting in favor of leaving the EU, whereas 48.11% rejected it. The sovereignty of a state is dependent on the egalitarianism, not in the instruments or agents of government that tends to suppress the people. Hence, all actions pertaining to any constitutional amendment or policy of general application have to be submitted to the people for ratification and approval by the way of a referendum. That is the very essence of democracy. Vox populi. However, in the case of Nigeria, it has not always existed as a nation. From inception, its inhabitants have been subjected to a series of despotic rule. Even after being considered a democratic state, Nigeria still runs a very undemocratic system of government. The aforementioned application of referendums are reasons and evidence that depicts the credence and near future of Biafra referendum. Brexit is no different from Biafrazit. A referendum is the easiest tool to resolving the trauma inflicted on the inhabitants of the abominable contraption called Nigeria. If United Nations and the world at large fail to speak up or organize a referendum vote for Biafra exit from Nigeria, then civil unrest is inevitable and another Aleppo, just like you see in Syria, is set to be created in West Africa. We support Biafran referendum. This article is by Chikwas Onuibe. Thanks for listening to Igbo Area TV. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. We will keep updating you, we promise. God bless you.